It's just school, it's just school, it's just school. I repeated to myself as I walked to the two front glass doors of Hudson Middle School. I had just turned 11 years old and I was getting ready to start the 6th grade. A few months prior, I had moved from Boston, Massachusetts to Hudson, New Hampshire. Everyone was new to me. I didn't have any friends that I could lean on and I didn't know a single teacher's name. With sweaty palms, tears in my eyes, and shaky legs, I found my way to room 116, my homeroom. With slow and timid steps, I made my way across the room and slid into the desk occupying the corner. Miss Leonard, a short, young, pretty woman, entered the room and welcomed us to 6th grade English composition. She took a few minutes to tell us her likes and dislikes, the names of her pets, and just introduce herself. She instructed the class to do the same thing. Watching everyone stand from their desks to talk about sports they played, summer adventures that they took with friends, and all of their super cool hobbies filled my heart with anxiety. Immediately, I began to think of things to try and sound cool that might award me some praise from my peers. When everyone else in the class had gone, and there was one student still sitting in her small corner desk, I took a big swallow and stood up. My name is Ashlyn and I just moved here. That is all I said before I slammed my body back down into my desk chair. All eyes in the classroom were on me, which I absolutely hated. After a couple minutes, everyone went back to chit-chat with their friends, and I got up from my desk and asked to use the bathroom. After hearing yes, I speed walked out of the classroom and into the hallway, where I thanked God that no one was. I didn't think that I could hold back my tears for another second. I locked myself in a stall and immediately began to sob. I can't do this. You need to come pick me up. I want to be homeschooled. My fingers flew across the keyboard of my iPhone 6S, firing off message after message to my dad. Ashlyn, are you in here? I heard a voice outside the stall. I didn't feel like talking to anyone, so I didn't say anything. The nose sniffles and rapid-fire typing must have given me away, because a few minutes later, I noticed a pair of white Adidas shell toes appear right outside of the stall. Ashlyn, it's Natalia. I'm in your reading class. I just came to check on you. Reluctantly, I put my phone in my pocket and unlocked the stall. Natalia slowly pushed the door open and saw me standing there with my red, tear-soaked face. I'm not really good at this stuff, her eyes falling to her own Adidas shell toes, but I want to tell you that it's going to be okay, and we can be friends if you want. Still so confused by this kind gesture from a stranger, I muttered an, okay. She told me she was going to go back to class, but the teacher said that I can stay in here as long as I needed to. Once I was alone again, I checked the text from my dad. You're going to do great, kid. It's only the first day. As far as I knew, my dad had never been wrong. And for a fact, I knew that my dad would never put me in a situation he knew I couldn't handle. So I stepped out of the stall, walked over to the mirror, and washed off all the smudge mascara that I worked so hard to apply nearly 2 hours ago. I made my way back to my class and back to my seat without making eye contact with anyone. Once I was sitting, I noticed that there was a pair of Adidas shell toes under the desk beside me. I glanced over and it was Natalia. She met my glance with a warm smile, and in my heart I knew it was going to be okay. I couldn't just handle 6th grade, I could conquer 6th grade. As the day continued, I noticed Natalia was in 2 of my other classes, and she sat next to me in each one, avoiding all of her other friends. It wasn't long before we started to get to know each other. I told her about my sisters and where I was from, and she told me that she's an only child and she's only ever lived in New Hampshire. We exchanged phone numbers, and the chatting never ever stopped. From when we'd wake up to when we'd go to sleep, to even now, 7 years later, we text all day, every day. Starting middle school in a brand new town was absolutely terrifying for an 11-year-old. However, if I was given the chance, I'd recommend it to everyone. That first tear-filled, anxiety-ridden day introduced me to my lifelong best friend. Someone who I still text 24/7, someone who my family considers a bonus daughter, and someone who I still have sleepovers with. Someone I would trust my life with. The day I was so worked up about ended up giving me my best friend, my bonus sister, and one of my favorite people ever.